in my journey, I started to learn to feel safe inside. I've started to say, okay, actually, I'm being protected by a higher, by divine, So this is also what came to remembrance to me, that I'm not alone, actually. There's this divine which is always with me, and I'm being protected, and I can lean my back. And it's okay. But so that inner security was coming as I more connect to myself, to my body, and the divine.
Yeah.
So let's start sitting comfortable. When I mean sitting comfortable, it's like, how is your feet? Is it on the ground, or however you want to place your feet? And also, how are you breathing right now? Just really focusing on your breath and connecting also with your feet, with the ground. And any kind of energy that is too much up in your body, just also let that energy sink into the ground, and do it with your own breath. And sometimes we even don't know that our shoulders are up, so just let the shoulders down. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Even touching the part in your face or any part in your body is also bringing us into this moment. Just having maybe your hands on your heart or on your legs, anywhere. And anything that is arising right now in you, any sensations, they're all welcomed. And it's totally okay to feel, to have those sensations in the body. And you're more than welcome just as you are. I see a nice smile in your face. This is also a smile I have when I say, this is actually this inspiration I got also this morning. You're welcome just as you are.
Well, thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm sitting on this podcast, and but never I heard this conscious welcome me on this other side as I am. But I guess I'm there as I am. Thank you very much, Semin. Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, whatever you are. Thank you for another visit you have made to us on the Kundalini Awakening podcast. I'm Sandesh from the Kundalini Yoga Club, and today I have the pleasure, the deep, heartfelt pleasure to invite Semin Yilmaz on the channel. She is one of our coaches on the Gift of Womanhood year training with Guru Ratana. But she's also applying something that I felt whenever I saw her words, that she very much was coming from the heart. And we had a talk about a week ago, and I said, wow, Yeah, it's nice to do Kundalini yoga, but you nowadays also practice the art of just living from the heart, isn't it,
Yeah,
Simin?
yeah.
Yeah. Have you done that all your life?
I think we are born like that, but then we forget. And this was also an insight I was telling myself this morning, that we're here to remember. We know all this, but we are just forgetting.
What do we know? Tell me, remind me again.
Um, Actually, for example, we know that we are we have we have feelings. For
Mhm.
example, this is something that I remembered very late. So because I realized when I first started Kundalini yoga that my body, the felt sense, was shut down.
Mm.
So I was just operating from my mind, like thinking too much.
Mm.
And but I had no idea that I was connected to a body which is feeling. So
Mm.
that was a disconnection. And then I found out that actually it's a trauma, because trauma is when you are disconnected. It's not what happened to you, but that this disconnection. So I guess I just didn't want to feel, because I didn't know what to do with all those feelings. So it was better to, maybe repeat the things what other people were saying. So being in the mind, repeating those quotes, let's say, or those words. So this is what I'm remembering, to be really alive, in the body, having those senses, having those feelings. Mm, and I realized in one of my, especially when I'm doing those workshops, we even cannot name our emotions. We are naming what we think. For example, I am very disappointed, let's say. But how do you feel? I feel that I am disappointed. But is this a feeling, Is this so when you are disappointed, how do you feel? So this is also another question which I also started to asking myself. So, and then I was like, oh, okay, now let's go into the body. Really, what's going on in my body? How do I really feel? So, but when we were children, I mean, yes, we are connected to those emotions more than our thoughts, actually. But then again, something happens in our childhood and we disconnect. So this is something we are here to remember. I can feel, I can connect. And
But why? Why, Simin? Why should you? I mean, there's a reason why you cut it off. Why would you remember to feel again?
why? Because this is how we connect, right? I mean, let's say, before recording this, we had a talk. And so, and while we were talking, we allowed ourselves um, to talk from our emotions, right? So otherwise, we are so disconnected from each other,
Mm.
because I will just only say the things that I have in my mind. You will just only say the things you have in your mind, but then there is no connection.
And that comes through the sharing of feeling or
Yeah,
feeling during
being,
the conversation.
like, you don't have to name the feelings, but it's just showing the feelings that you are, for example, feeling me and I am feeling you. You feel maybe the anxiousness that I have, or the excitement that I have, you know, you feel it. And then I feel, for example, let's say that you are grounded, calm, you know. And then so what is starting between each other is we are starting to regulate each other. And then there comes this connection, right? You're inviting me into the space. I am allowing myself, that part, to be present, not like hiding and not showing you what is going on in me. But
Mhm.
I say, it's okay. He can see me.
Yeah. You know, from my experiences, what touches me is, and I think I no, I don't think I know what you mean, and how that translates to me is, for me, it's very important to see some people's eyes,
Mm,
because when I see them, and you have this normal conversation, and then you touch something, and these eyes come, they just show up. It's
mm,
like the soul wants to jump out, and you see the eye, you see the light coming out. You're like, okay, now we're here. Now the conversation just become real, right? And and for me, that's the moment that I feel somebody, when I just see their
mm,
face cheer up, the smile comes out, the eyes blow up, and of course there's hard work, but the emotions are so important to see this live. I think it's about, yeah, for me, experiencing the true essence of a person through their emotions.
mm. You said a beautiful thing. For example, you're recognizing the body language, right? That you
Mm,
have in front of. Sometimes this is also missing in people, in conversations, that we don't really look into each other. Right? I mean, we look, but we don't look. And I have a beautiful saying, actually. I say that every heart wants to be seen, felt, heard, and understood. So, when you see me, I also see you. I Because my inner heart says, "Oh, Sandesh is seeing me. I'm being recognized by him," and then it feels good, you know. Or like I say something, and then you say something, and oh, I'm being understood by him. So then comes the real connection. So, but this is not something new. This is something that we are uh, remembering, that this is to be a human, you know. And yeah, so for me right now, I cannot, for example, I don't want to be with people who are not willing to have that kind of connections, or because it's really, it doesn't feel right to me, or it doesn't feel okay to me. And So I choose. I started to choose.
Wow, I'm happy you do, because I was raised, and I think, I'm not saying that just mothers, but I think mothers are the I think the place where children need to learn how to embrace emotions.
Mm,
I'm not. I mean, I don't. I don't think I ever learned from my father. I learned it from my mother. She showed more the emotions, and in the Kundalini yoga we also learned that because the women have the two arc lines, the one in front of the chest,
yeah,
they feel more safe to share these emotions, right?
yeah,
So I so much agree that the woman is the example. She can show these emotions so rich, and it's so beautiful if we can remember again the art of living and showing, and being responsible for our emotions.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And it's so much better than not having any emotions. It's like if I would talk to you and you wouldn't laugh, you wouldn't open your eyes, you wouldn't smile, you wouldn't change your cheeks. Oh my gosh, what kind of conversation would we have, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also what is important is that this is also what I recognize in me is that um, I mean, we want to feel safe.
Mm.
If we don't feel safe, we don't open up. So this is also a good way because there's a protection which is happening, and so you're protecting yourself without being even aware of it. But if you feel safe, this is what I am experiencing with people who are getting in touch, especially when people are meeting me and my husband, they're opening up. Suddenly we are like talking about so deep level things about what was happening in their family, really like some people might not share. I think this is just the presence of being giving that felt sense that it's okay, it's you're safe here, you know. I will not make any joke out of that, or I will not maybe talk this with other people. So in a way, you feel safe. So and then your heart starts to open. I think this is also very important. And I also realize in the circles when I see that, oh, I've been seen, I've been heard, I've been felt, then I say, oh, this is a safe place because people are opening up. So so there's no danger here. So I can also open up. Uh, but in some places, I protect myself. I don't feel safe, so I don't open up.
Mm. And I just wonder, right? Who decides on, is it the exterior world that decides on our feeling of safety to your experience, or is it actually something from our inner world that
Mm.
decides whether we're safe or not?
This is also a beautiful question. Of course, in my journey, I started to learn to feel safe inside. Um, I've started to say, okay, actually, I'm being protected by a higher, by divine, So this is also what came to remembrance to me that I'm not alone, actually. There's this divine, which is always with me, and I'm being protected, and I can lean my back. So, and it's okay. But
What?
so that inner security was coming as I more connect to myself, to my body and the divine.
Yeah. But that sounds easy, but I guess it's not.
No,
Because how do you
no.
I've gone through it. I know where you're I know, but it's not about knowing. This is something we have to experience. So how did you get to understand that you're protected by the divine?
Because
What's that
I
journey?
experienced that.
What?
Because I experienced that. I mean, in my first Kundalini yoga camp, you know, there was such a strong connection, not just only with myself, but with the nature and with the bigger realm. So, and I said, actually, this is the words I also wrote in my book. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you. I said Allah, to God. Because when I was little, I was very connected with Allah. For example, I started to remember, um, I wanted to, learn the prayers. And before going to bed, I was just repeating those prayers. No, actually, nobody told me you should do that. That was just an inner call. And there I realized that I have this connection. And I was just speaking and I was just letting everything to God and everything will be fine, So I had that connection. But then as I grew older, other things became more important to me.
You mean you went to school and school taught you to think and think and think?
Yeah, I think like after my in high school years in the university, so um, I don't know. So I was maybe more interested what other people were doing, So yeah, and then when I was in this camp and when I had this felt sense, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot," and then it's actually, this is what I say, when you have that kind of experience, it is deep in your tissues, it's not just talking about it, it's really you have that experience and it's true deep down. So then you have this connection. But of course, in daily life, we forget about that. So where are we looking? We are looking outside with other people, how we connect. Is this safe? Is this not safe? We go into that. And we are not aligned with our body. We're not aligned with the divine. So we get distracted. So we are looking for security outside, what you were saying. But I think it's also important to have people around you that are reminding you it's safe. I also like that. For example, when I'm with my husband, I feel safe. It's okay, and I think this is a nice thing to also feel that safety in a person that you're with together. Because then I like, okay, there's nothing to worry about. So he's reminding me about it's safe, don't worry,
Is he also then reminding you of the divine? Can you see it from there, or because it's like is the safety you experience within and from your father, mother, or your loved one, is that also divine for your experience, or
Yes, of course. We're all divine. We're all connected.
yeah?
So,
What would you tell to somebody who did not experience that, who doesn't believe that anymore, who forgot that?
Oh, I have a lot of people around me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And um, they're very anxious then, you know. It's really very difficult for them, um, because whatever they do, they don't feel safe, you know.
Mm.
So I can really see that. But before, I was trying to get those people also into that, you know. I was like, okay, I should get that person into that field. But then I realized I'm giving so much effort from me. I'm not the one who's going to save that person. So, and then I said, okay, that person needs to discover it by her, by herself, by himself. So I am not the one who is going to save that person.
It's
But
not your responsibility, is
yeah,
it?
it's not my responsibility, but I can let them maybe invite them and be curious into that field.
Mm. Mm.
But before, I think I was very much like, this is not right. You, this is the thing you should do. Da, 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 da. You know, it was more like um, forcing that person to come there. But, you know,
Yeah, it's like when you're so in love with your own practice, and then you think that this practice is so great, you want to share it, and everybody must do it the way you do it, right?
and everybody is going to have the same felt experience you had. And
Yeah, right.
that person is like, uh,
Yeah, it's not my way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I one of the Kundalini Yoga sutras that I really come into this field right now is recognize that the other one is you. We've been on our own journey, and in the end, we need to decide to wake up by ourselves, right? If I think, I mean, let's say you're sleeping in bed and somebody wakes you up from your deep sleep, you don't like it, and you go back to bed.
yeah.
But once you're enough, you had enough nightmares, your body did everything, and then slowly you decide to wake up. It's much more nice than, and if somebody then would invite me, okay, can I help you out of bed? Then yeah, sure, why not? I'm waking up. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
I guess also this is when you are talking about that, this is um, in Kundalini Yoga, it was, you know, I had many, many experiences, but with compassionate inquiry, I get to know people um, more personally. For example, I understood, for example, before I had no idea why this person is behaving like that. So I had some judgments about it. But then when I started doing those sessions in compassion inquiry, I started to see people from a totally different angle. I said, wow, you know, this person has this this story, you know, what happened to them. That's why what is happening right now is related to that. So suddenly my compassion towards that person started to arise, you know. So the judgment was not there anymore because that was my perception about that person. But when I get to know that person and hear the story and like a different, my eyes opened, you know, I was like, and then I started to look to everybody from that angle. Like, I was like, what might happen to this person that is behaving like this? There must be something in her or in his childhood that this person is behaving like that. Before, In Kundalini Yoga, I didn't have that, because we were practicing together, sharing, but I really didn't know what was really going on because everybody, of course, is not sharing. But when you really sit in front of a person and do that inquiry, that compassion inquiry with them, I see the other person is you. I see exactly that. I see myself in them and they see themselves in me. Although we have a totally maybe different life, but the belief is the same, the emotion is the same. We are all together in this. And that was like a big awakening moment in my life. And that started to change me a lot. The way I'm even giving classes or talking to people right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've done Kundalini yoga quite a long time. It has been how long?
Yeah, I started in 2010.
Yeah, yeah. And now you're quite active with compassionate inquiry.
Yeah.
To your opinion, how important is it to stay open for other practices? I mean, some people they just say only Kundalini yoga or Hatha yoga or mindfulness. Or what's your perspective on that?
I was also like that. I was very strict. I was even saying this so out loud that this is the only practice I am doing, and this is the only thing. And even I was not I was not doing sports. I mean, like gym. And my husband was saying, "You will not get muscles with what you're doing with Kundalini yoga." But I said no. I rejected, and I got injured in COVID, and then I needed to start to lift weights, and then suddenly I realized how strict I was to myself and also to the other things. And then when compassion inquiry came into my life, I realized that I need to be more, not need, but where is the flexibility? So, and then this is beautiful. So, what is life actually telling me or inviting me into? So, this is also the question I started to ask these days a lot. A friend of mine asked me that question, and I really love that. What is life right now telling me? Where am I being invited? And I refuse without even trying it. So, and then I realized that because when I started Kundalini yoga, it changed my life so much that it was like gold, gold for me. So nothing should replace Kundalini yoga, or so everything I will do should be through Kundalini yoga. But life was telling me, I mean, my path was giving me other roads, And actually, living in the heart was the first thing I said to myself when my heart opened in Kundalini yoga. But then I realized some things were not landing in me, like compassion. That was just the word. It was really not landing in me. And then when compassion inquiry came, I understood what it is also to be in the heart. To be in the heart is to be showing up as a human, because I thought that I should be heart is neutral. It is not in duality, but I thought that I should not show my vulnerabilities, my emotions, I shouldn't tell that much about my stories. I should be in neutral. I should be in non-duality. But then I was missing out something. I was missing out to be human, because I wanted to be so much perfect that my human part. So, and then everybody started to look up to me. No, this is also what we are creating right now in Gift of Womanhood in the coach, among our coaches. So we are regenerating a new system where there is no authority. We are creating together. We are so used to that also, right? There is one authority and we are following that authority, following that leader. No, creating together and really talking from our heart what is happening right now in me, So, yeah, many things shifting, still shifting in me.
Yes, I can feel that. I can feel that. So, what is perfection? You said I want to be perfect.
Yeah.
What was your understanding of perfection then? And what is your understanding of perfection now?
That time I was looking to my teachers as perfect. Oh, they're just over it, because most of them also, they were not talking about their own life story. So I was guessing that they're rid of it. They don't have any wounds anymore, and they have no beliefs, like perfect, a perfect, like a robot, actually.
You knew nothing about them, and that's perfect, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought that, oh, okay. So, and I was looking up. I wanted to be like them. But then life was introducing me people, leaders, or let's say people that you are looking up. Suddenly, for example, Gabor Mate showed up in my life. And he was talking about all his trauma, vulnerabilities, how he's still being triggered right now. And I was like, my God, this is something new for me, He's on stage, everybody is looking at him, and suddenly he's talking about how he's been even triggered now in his life and where it is coming from, So he was so authentic that I was like, this is the thing that I want. Because this is the truth, I said to myself.
So that was more perfect.
Yes, that was not more perfect. That was to be human.
And the human is part of perfection, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, actually, we
Yeah.
are born perfect, right? But we are going through life with things are happening to us, and then we start to have beliefs about ourselves. We create a story about ourselves, so we disconnect. So we even disconnect from that perfect, let's say, actually perfect life, and then suddenly I started to even hear my own teachers from with different ears. They started also talking about their lives. Things are changing. I think a lot of things shifted after COVID. Suddenly everybody was more authentic.
Well,
I mean,
having
was, I mean, of course, there are people who still have those masks, but like the people who were around me, suddenly I was seeing, I was not seeing any masks anymore.
Mm.
And this is also what I want to bring into the world. And this is also how I want to connect, you know. If,
Without the masks.
yeah, like before, if we had this talk, I would be trying to be sounding perfect. You know, like, I don't have these wounds. Come on, Sandesh. I am living in the heart. I know what is to be live in the heart. You know, like, um, this is the thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
You won't talk about experience. You
no,
just
I
know.
will not talk about the experiences. I will not show that face to you.
Mm. Mm. And why do you think now it's so much important that we do show these faces as a teacher or as a helper or as a servant?
Yeah, because inner empowerment starts from there. If you and you you know, you said that responsibility, that person, um, you know, we are each responsible to do our work, not look up to a teacher, to a leader. So, and if as a teacher, if I can give that person that chance to use her or him, his inner authority, then that person can rise. Otherwise, that person is always going to follow you and not go into its own inner empowerment. Because you're looking up, you know, you want to be like that. And you think that this person is very powerful, but you forget about your own power. And
Mhm.
you give your power away to that leader or to that teacher, and
Mm.
you say to yourself, I'm not good enough.
Mm.
So
Because I need somebody else to rule over me.
exactly. So your wound, so the relationship you build with your teacher, the wound is still continuing. But when you say to that person, listen, I get what you say because I am also going through this, then suddenly you break that, you know, you're like, oops, really?
Yeah, it creates a field of equality when the teacher comes down and say, "I'm like you.
Yeah,
I also go through this kind of
yeah.
challenges." Mm. Mm.
So
Yes.
maybe, for example, sitting in a circle changes the energy. But for example, once, I mean, I also teach in front of people, but
Mhm.
once I put myself into the circle and I started teaching Kundalini Yoga, the energy was, it shifted. Suddenly I was like, we're all together. We're all together moving, actually. We're all together practicing. I'm just showing the steps where we are together. But
Mm.
before it was me in front of them, the authority, you know, the teacher, power,
Yeah.
you know, but then suddenly that shifted. And I think we need that because also look at the companies, look at politics, you know, we are always looking up to a leader, but
Yeah, and look at what we let
and
them take out of this. Our leaders. Yeah. I mean, in the end, if we look at the power we give away because we're not stepping up from our own leadership, yeah, we can nowadays become much more aware of what our leaders do with this power. and
Yeah,
it happens because we allow it to happen
exactly.
in a way. We
Yeah,
gave it the power.
yeah.
Mm.
But
And
for
I
me,
think,
a very
go ahead.
powerful, for example, for me, a very powerful person is who does, who is still on the path, you know, still walking the path, and you are feeling it, you know, it's not just the words that person is saying, it's the presence,
Mm.
you know, the presence is the power.
Mm. Do you know the mantra Yoto Prem from Guru
No,
Nanak?
what,
Well, if I sing it, I know the words, but
yeah.
Yoto Prem Kalanaka Chao Sirinda Tali Tari Meriya. So that says, if you want to walk the path of love, um, walk it with your head in your hands.
Mm,
And Guru Nanak said that because the head doesn't, it's we live it as if it's more important than the heart. But if you want to walk the path of love, and you have to walk it with at least head and heart equal.
mm,
Um,
yeah,
or well, maybe even head serving the heart instead of the heart serving the head. And then the second part is about once you walk on that path, and this is what you triggered me with. Once you found this path, and it doesn't matter whether it's Kundalini yoga, a compassionate inquiry, or Zen. There's different ways that show you the path, but you have to practice the discipline or the love, the devotion to stay on the path.
yeah,
And and I think it's so important nowadays. We are so distracted to get away from the path.
yeah,
Yeah, and those who, and I see you part of that. Um, me too, dedicated to that path.
yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, for example, was not to get a certificate,
Hmm.
you know, or to become a compassionate inquiry practitioner, or even to become a Kundalini yoga teacher. I remember when Guru Ratana said, "Who's going to teach?" At the end of this teacher training, I even didn't raise my hand. It came to me. You know how it came to me? Everybody was saying something shifted in you. Can you show us? That's how I started teaching. I started teaching in my apartment for the first time, and everybody was saying to me, I mean, they're close friends, is this really your first time teaching? You look like you're teaching for a very long time. And I was like, really? You know? So I think, I mean, for me, the presence is is very important. So um, if you do it for a certification for something, I know why compassionate inquiry came into my life, because compassion is one of the actually names for the heart. And I was saying living in the heart. So something I needed to put it into my life. And also I said, not everybody is practicing Kundalini yoga. They don't like it. It's okay, you know? So, but how can I reach the others? So, how can, without telling them, you just do this mantra or do this move, how can I really be in my heart and be present with them? I had no idea. So, and then suddenly I was like, wow. So this is what happened. I don't know what is going to go. I mean, even writing the book, Living in the Heart, that was like, I want to share. I want to share through the story.
Mm.
And And I want to include my husband, who's not, I mean, he's tried a little bit Kundalini yoga, but it's not his thing. So, and but he's a heart surgeon. He's serving, human patients, every day. So can he really be in his heart just doing Kundalini yoga? No.
Mm.
As you say, there are so many different paths. So just be open to that and be
Mm.
curious where you are being invited, If your heart wants to be there, just go. But still, of course, I still practice Kundalini yoga. I still teach, But yeah, I have many things right now in my box that I can share. Even talking, even right. For example, in the White Light Peace Day, just the poem, just the Rumi poem. Before my session, there was this woman. She came with those poems, and I had also one poem from Rumi. I'm like, wow, what a synchronicity! And then just one poem. I don't know. Do we really need to sit and do those? I mean, we can have different practices. I don't know. Walking in the nature, singing, dancing.
Yeah, I guess it's in the end, it's finding that what helps you to vibrate again with the origin, and to let go of everything that stops us from connecting to it again.
Yeah,
And yes, between you and me, we love Kundalini yoga, but there the teaching Ekon Kar really makes me
exactly.
understand that it's not about one thing. We are this manifestation of the divine. So all the variety, the chaos, and the new things, the old things, is all a manifestation of the one. So you can choose it as, hey, I'm a little child in a big candy store. Let's see which kind of candy I really like, and then we bring that into our life.
Yeah.
Yes. And tell me, you're doing the gift of womanhood training with Guru Ratana. You were trained by her
Yes.
as a
I am like her one of the first. Uh, I didn't start with Kiara. I started with her. So, but you know what happened to me? Everybody was like telling me, oh, you're not a Kundalini yoga teacher because you don't have KRI.
okay.
Years later, I did KRI
Hmm.
and I understood what a big difference, a big difference. And I'm very thankful that she came into my life.
Hmm. So what's the difference? Tell me.
She was always telling me, don't ask for permission. She was empowering me, a lot. I mean, and I was disconnected. I had a trauma. I was disconnected from my womanhood, from my sexuality, and and suddenly I became a totally different woman. And I enjoyed being a woman, and she taught it in such a gentle way. And she never answered to my questions, to anybody's questions. And it was like ongoing curiosity and discovery that I was going through. And I never stopped disconnecting from her. She was always with me many, many years, And I took Gift of Womanhood 2 times after I did teacher training with her in 2010. There, I said my heart opened. And I thought, like each Kiera, I mean, Kiera teacher training, my heart didn't open. To tell you the truth, I learned many other things, and there was like a very strong divine vibration, but there were also fear, rules, strict discipline. This should be like this. This should not be like that, you know? And I didn't like it. So I said no. And of course, after COVID, everything changed. Also in the field of Kundalini Yoga, and everybody started to bring their own truth. So why can I not teach from my heart, from my own truth, right?
Yeah, from your own experience.
Yeah, from my experience. Why should I follow all these rules? So it really hurt me. Like I was so excluded from, even in Turkey, from those people who took KRI. And then, of course, they understood that it was not the right thing to do. But at that time, it was so interesting. When I was in KRI training, immediately I understood why I started with the other, you know, but that was being introduced to me. So I didn't choose. First of all, this is what I'm also telling my students.
All life invited you, didn't it?
Exactly. There was no Instagram, you know, I had no idea. So I was really invited. So, and I think this is the power. This is the magic. So just trust whoever shows up in front of you. It can be also not a good experience, but like just get what you needed from that experience also. And yeah, so I started with her, and I'm very grateful, and still learning and growing so much.
And I talked to Guru Ratana just, I think it was last week. She's very much onto that women are magic now, right?
Yes.
Yes. Can you elaborate on that? What are you learning now about that women are magic, but also what is your magic?
I was still inquiring on that, because when you hear magic, it's a big word, right? I mean, you can sometimes play with that word in different ways. I guess the first thing that is coming to me is being aligned with your womanhood, you know, with this divine. I think with Mother Nature. I mean, when you are just in nature, it's magic for me, right? Each, like, there is like winter and then spring, you know, and the flowers are blooming. They were not there before, and then suddenly you see flowers. It's magic. It's the creation. It's the creative force, and we have that in us, right? Even
Yes,
being pregnant is magic.
exactly. And you have all the cycles. I mean, every month you have another moon
Yeah, and
cycle.
then you become another. Yeah, and then you know it's really that is magical.
Hmm.
It's not what you do, it's more what you are, who you are
Hmm.
as a being.
Yeah, and that, yeah. Yeah, I think of, whenever I talk about this subject, I always think of my mom. She's such a powerful woman that through the dogma of the roles of how women should be in the kitchen, only serving her man, she never stood out. She never, and every time she would try to venture out, that would pull her back, or society would pull her back into her role.
Yeah.
I myself, although I'm a man born from a mother that I very much love, I understand so much. It would be so different if I had a mom who would be proud and understands she's magic and everything that she's feeling is magic. Instead of, oh, you were made to serve the man, you were made to serve in the marriage, because that time it was still like that in the East, and
Yeah.
still some countries it is like that.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that women like you are stepping up and leading, and being part of this gift of womanhood movement.
Yeah.
And really, because I so much look forward to a world where the women are at least in balance in power with the men, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, we were talking about like there are also women who are not very much um, uh, in sync with their feminine, with their feminine energy. More male energy is also dominant. So it should be actually in balance. So it doesn't really mean just woman or just man. Those two energies. How can we balance it inside us? And for example, last week I was really not in a very high energy, I mean, or balanced energy, let's say, at home. And my husband said, when I come home, I get, affected by your energy. And then so I understood that, wow, so the energy you create at home is so important, how you show up. So because it affects everybody. You don't need to do a lot of things. Just if you are in peace, if you are connected with love, with compassion. So is this is everybody is very happy at home. So I guess also in workplaces, if you are not regulated with those two energies, and so there's no peace, right? So I think so can we become more conscious and aware of how we vibrate that day? We don't need to feel always good, but we can welcome ourselves first as just who we are or how we are feeling, and not push ourselves. Okay, I don't feel good today, but just say it loud, I don't feel good today. And
Yeah. I'm actually happy when I get to know if my wife says, I don't feel so good today. Um, it gives me a chance to be more compassionate, to take into account that maybe she needs a different space today.
yeah,
So yeah. Ah, I want to thank you for a really beautiful conversation. Um, is there any words you would share with the women who might feel that there's more inside of them, but they don't have they haven't grasped it yet? They know maybe that they are more than just what they think, what their work is, what their children are. What would you say to them to find their own magic again?
I would say be compassionate towards yourself.
Mm.
Because to be compassionate is to be also to sit with the pain, or to sit with what's going on in you right now. And not try to fix, not try to um, find a solution, um, or like, oh, I need to do this work in order to get there. No, just be with what is arising in you, and if you can't sit with that pain, so who can really help you? Reach out for help, ask for help, from people um, you want to be heard, felt, seen, or understood, and it's okay. So I would really, because also in the gift of womanhood, this is what we do. It's not like, oh, you don't vibrate this energy, so you're bad or you're not magic, oh, you fail, you're not good enough. We don't, it's just be with what is present right now. Just accept that.
And if they would like to be helped by you, they can, right?
Yes, they can. Yes, I do. I give sessions through Zoom, one-on-one, on compassionate inquiry sessions. So it's a therapeutic approach, but I say I'm not a therapist. I'm a yoga teacher, but I learned and I practice these tools, this approach, and it's really very effective. I mean, it helped me, and so from there I'm serving, and yeah, and also I also encourage women, do something with your body, really, mm, just move, it's so important. What feels good for you, but move your body. And we have this mind, of course. This is why I love practicing Kundalini yoga, because I need that stable polarity, and meditation is helping me in that way, is serving me in that way. So, and then I feel more also balanced. So, yeah. So it's not just one thing,
But you
And
say move, ask for help, and be with yourself.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, I did Kirtan Kriya for 31 minutes for 1,000 days, which means 3 years. I never stop. I did it every day. It's really helping. I mean, because when you have a very busy mind, like I have, so this was like, whatever, because in meditation, we think that we should not think, right? But this meditation is allowing you to, whatever it comes, just let it out, just let it out. So it's really, it helped me so much, and still. So you are giving yourself that empty space, allowing yourself that empty space, and also being aware also about your beliefs. I think this is a really, I think you're like, wow, I have this belief, I have this thought, and journaling. This is also something I recommend. Just every morning I am doing morning pages. Just have a journal, write 3 pages or 2 pages or 1 page, just whatever it comes to your mind. Just let it out,
Mm.
So these are the tools that I use I have as a ritual. And I love when Guru Ratana said, life is a ritual. Everything I do is a ritual. and I live my classes and I live the topic. This is also what I do. I
Mm.
love it. It's like a discovery for me, a discovery of myself. I'm very curious. I'm very passionate about that. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for this rich advice. If you want to experience Semin, there is a class of her in our recordings of the White Light Peace Prayer Day. You can experience her. We'll drop her website in the description beneath. If you want to get into moving, if you want to do Kirtan Kriya or try all these Kundalini yoga things, try out our membership or we have different kind of packages, but there's also a Guru Ratana Legacy Collection, so you can experience it all. Everything is in the link. Try it out, and let's see. Go for the experience.
Yeah.
I want to thank Simin very much for coming on to this conversation. Thank you for sharing your heart with us.
I thank
And
you. It was a very heartfelt welcome. And I'm also so happy that a man like you are giving that space to women, and also let them show up, and also, yeah, and also go through that I know that you are also practicing all these in your own path and in your own journey, and I really like that, like having a different angle, yeah. So because we're all together, this is what I say also to my husband, and my husband is also reminding me, it's not just me as a woman, we're together, otherwise it's just me, and he will be me, it doesn't work like that. We are all together, and actually this is the divine structure, and this is why there is a man and there is a woman, so we are learning from both sides, and yeah, just open to learn and to discover. Yeah.
Satnam, thank you.
Thank you.